How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time it is for you that you're watching this today. It's time to get into some animation, time to get creative, time to get inspired, time to get into that wonderful world of imagination, and just time to have some fun. So with that being said, let's get into today's inspiration, which is brought to you by Volume 2 of Walt Stanchfield's Drawn to Life, the 20 years of Disney masterclasses, one of my favorite book series. I wish they would do more, but I don't think they can. I think the compilation is just a volume 1 or 2. I'm not quite sure the status of if there's a possibility to make a third one, but if there is, I hope they collect them and put out another one, because I would... what's the famous meme? Take my money. Yes, grab these books if you haven't. If you're any sort of creative person, I think they are a phenomenal resource to have, especially if you are into the field of drawing or painting or any sort of creative field like that. But even so, it goes further into what I like to touch on, and hopefully comes across in these videos as well, just the creative process in general. So with that being said, I grabbed this quote from the book that I thought I would share with you. It was kind of speaking to me today. So drawing/acting is a lifetime adventure. There's no formula for becoming a proficient artist. It's just a lifetime of search and discovery. Teachers can only hint at some direction. The artist has to latch on to some personal method of finding and applying the facts for himself. My highest wish is that all of you will continue to develop your own means of expressing yourselves as performers. Trying to reach a goal is not so much narrowing down to a fine point as it is opening up to a wider range of realization. You concentrate your efforts only by broadening your knowledge and understanding and skill. And I think that's just a great way to look at this whole world of the creative process in whatever field or medium you're using. And I think I was talking to Arbitrary Jane on Twitter last night, kind of about a little bit about the creative process and everything, and kind of where you hit a level of either maturity in your work or maturity in your life where you're just open to criticisms, you're open to appreciating work that maybe you didn't appreciate before, and not maybe because it's your personal preference or your personal style or whatever it is, but because of the effort the person put in and thought they put in behind it, and you appreciate it in a different way. And so I really think this speaks to the creative field as a whole, in that you just keep growing and keep pushing. It's this lifelong just lifestyle almost of being creative. One second, phone's ringing. Okay, sorry about that. It was just gonna ring in the background and distract me while I was talking. But yeah, I think it's really this lifestyle of being a creative person and always seeking to see what you can get either inspired from, or what ideas you can get in your head based on what it is that you're surrounding yourself with, either visually or auditorily, or any sort of experiences that you live through, or people that you meet, or books that you read, or any of that kind of stuff just helps to refine and define and evolve your sense of creating. And I think by having that kind of an open mindset where you're in there is really important if you want to be successful in a creative environment. To just always have your mind open to the negative, to the positive, to just all the different fields that you can interact with. But I'm rambling. Grab this book. It's awesome. I'll just leaf through and show you. It's really big on gesture drawing, which is something that I know I'm a little tight on, and I really should loosen up. It's difficult. I have a bit of OCD, and by a bit I mean a ton. That manifests in different ways, so it's difficult sometimes for me to loosen up with stuff. I just want kind of a perfectionist with things, so that's kind of one of the reasons why I do these videos and give myself kind of a format in which to do them, because then it keeps me fresh, it keeps me pushed forward, and it keeps things a little more lively, and there's a little more sense of play to things than necessarily getting it perfect and exact. And I think there's a fun way to experience that through animation. So that being said, let's get into today's video. And this is the chip rig. It's from Creative Crash. It's a free rig you can download. I will throw a link in the comments below, as well as a link to Drawn to Life. Again, I'm not sponsored by anybody or anything. These are just books that have helped me and that I like to leaf through and reread passages from and everything too, so I definitely suggest picking that up. But yeah, this is the chip rig. If you're not familiar with this video series or kind of what we do, usually we start off with a little bit of inspiration or kind of a little bit of an art talk or whatever it may be, kind of subject, or look at get inspired by a person's work or something like that, and then we get into doing a little bit of animating. Give ourselves about 48 frames, give or take. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little bit less, and give ourselves kind of a time frame of anywhere between 45 minutes. Sometimes they go as long as 2 hours. Depends on the rig, depends on if we come up with any challenges or hiccups, or if we have different ideas that we tend to pursue later on, or any of that kind of stuff. I've never used this rig before, so it's kind of a challenge in that regard, because I don't know what controllers I'll be up against or what limitations or anything this does. And yeah, so it's a little bit of kind of an older, over-the-shoulder kind of an animation video with a little bit of instruction, a little bit of theory, and a little bit just talking about the creative process. So join with me. I hope you guys have a great day. If you do have any comments, ideas, thoughts, concerns, critiques, any of that kind of stuff, definitely throw it down below. I want this to be kind of a community-based video, so if you are doing stuff with this rig as well, definitely share it back so we can look at it and all that kind of stuff. All right, well, I'm rambling again tons, so let's get started with today's video. Oh, it even has a little kind of a ghetto ponytail. That's great. Okay, so let's create a polygon primitives cube. By the way, this is Autodesk Maya 2010. I know there are newer versions out there, and occasionally with some of my videos I use 2014, 2015, and 2016 is coming soon. Woohoo! But the 2010 is nice because it's a little bit of a lighter version and tend to get a better frame rate, at least for myself while I'm watching the videos and recording, so that helps my animation be a little more polished. So first let's start off with a little bit of nailing down on our first main pose, kind of that storytelling pose. Let's see, it's a lower back and that's the root, but do they have like an upper back? Okay, so we just have like an upper and a lower back. How should we approach those? Yeah, let's approach them individually. Normally I would say this was like a spine, but I think what I'll do is I'll use the lower back to kind of offset what the root's doing, and use the root in the upper back as kind of our main controls here. And then I thought for this one we'd do kind of a little bit of like a finger point, like a kind of thing. And when you're animating, don't be afraid to get stupid and do ridiculous things in front of a mirror or in front of a webcam or any kind of thing like that. Get yourself some different ideas, get loose, get funky when you're animating, and just have some fun. But don't be afraid. Hey, if I can do it and I can share a video, and then you can definitely in your room with a oh, come on, man, we're getting some good bend in this elbow. There we go. But yeah, you can definitely do it alone in your room with no one watching. So don't worry. Have fun. Get creative. And can I get a good angle on here? Gotta be careful. It looks like there's a little bit of deforming going on there, so we gotta be careful about that. And I want to throw a little bit of rotating that wrist. And what do we got? Middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. Let's bend those all down. And bend those all down. And bend those all down. Just want to get a good solid kind of starting pose to start off with. Let's kind of overextend that index finger a little bit more. We're going to kind of straighten it up a little bit more. And let's vary the other hand finger poses a little bit more. And pinky spread. There's no pinky roll. That's right. Ring spread and middle spread. And let's go ahead and do a little more rotate like that. You kind of try to, when possible, only bend the elbow on one axis. So just on the X is what we like to keep it on. So that way it's more realistic to more human anatomy, even though they give us multiple rotations to use. You know, if you're looking at your own elbow, you can get a little bit kind of left and right, but it's mostly just up and down, and all the rest of the rotation comes from the upper arm. So it's definitely something we want to be aware of. And one thing that I'm thinking that we're going to do different with this is it's going to be a little bit slower for the steps, so maybe on like 8s instead of 6s, just a little bit slower. And we'll kind of loosen it up there a little bit, and a little bit there, so it has a little bit of stretch that you can give out on the next one. And the other thing is I'm going to have the arms go out at the same one of the legs. Instead of having this arm be held back while that leg's forward, I'm going to have it be so it's one side and the other side, so that both the arm and the leg are going to be out. Maybe not on the exact same frame, but on that move, rather than having them be opposite each other, which would be more typical of a normal walk. But I think that'll give this one a little bit of character. Let's go ahead and pull those hips down a little bit more. And I think we're going to need to pull them back a little bit just to maintain our balance here. And let's go ahead and rotate that foot out a little bit more. And let's give a little bit of rotate forward there. And let's get into a little bit of face. See if we can. Let's do that up a little bit more. Let's get our graph editor out for some reason. Where is it? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it this way. It's the T here. Oh, it's the tongue, so we don't need to worry about that. Lower lip. Eyes. Leave them right there. What's the sink? Okay, it's just going to be like the jaw then, really. Which is different than the jaw. Okay, so that's more like the lower lip then. Alright, it doesn't look like there's a ton of expression that we can really get in there. And let's go ahead and rotate that head out a little bit more. Oof, that's a fatty neck there. Got a little bit of gobble going on. That's okay though. And then let's go ahead and get that ponytail up so it's not intersecting with the rest of the body. Okay, now that we got that, let's go ahead and push that forward and push that down a little bit more. And let's go ahead and save our file. So file save scene as, we're just going to call it chip walk. If I could spell instead of chup, what's a chup walk? And I'll save that. And don't forget, when you are animating, to save multiple versions and to save often, just in case you have a little unexpected accident or something. Okay, now we're going to select everything. Let's make sure we just have our NURB curves, NURB surfaces, and polygons showing. And we're going to set a key there. And I think we said we're going to do that on 8s for right now. So let's go ahead and do the foundation for our walk here. And it's just going to be basically the hips and the feet for right now. And let's rotate back. And 16. Plant it down. Oh, come on. 0. And let's go pull those hips forward a little bit. And let's see if those steps seem fairly even. The spacing between them. No, this step's way too big, so let's go ahead and scale that back a little bit and pull the hips back a little bit as well. Let's see. Actually, let's go ahead and pull it forward a little bit more. Don't want to grab the whole base of this. Okay. And let's go ahead and grab this other foot, set it there. And 24, so raise that up. Pull it forward, drag it back. And fix the rotate there. And line, plane it down, raise it forward a little bit more, and then pull those hips forward. And again, this isn't like our final animation. This is just laying the groundwork. Once we get the like feet and hips working, then we can get in and add more weight to it and add more character and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna rotate that back. And rotate that over and down. And forward a little bit more. And let's go into our graph editor here. We'll pull that up. And let's check how we did for consistency here. Fairly good. This is going to be the left to right movement in the hips, and we want that to be a constant there. Let's go ahead and check out the feet and see if those seem pretty well balanced between the two steps. I think we could be a little bit better. Let's see. It's like 2 to 9, so that'd be 11, so it should be like 5.5. It should be 4. Yeah, it's about right. Okay. And let's go ahead and look at this one. And translate Z. Okay. Maybe we'll do another step after that. Let's see. Okay, and then I think we're going to do that kind of double bounce like we did yesterday again, just for this one. Just to add that little bit of extra bounce in there. And do that every 4 frames. And we'll want to vary it a little bit as well. Oh, and by the way, thank you all for the likes and the subscribes. Always appreciated. And I'll keep making more videos. And like I said, don't be afraid to throw comments down below if you'd like me to see me use a different rig or do a different style of video or anything like that. Or if you have suggestions for things we could have approached differently in our shot or how you do things different, more than happy to answer any questions as well, or anything down in the comments down below. And as long as time permits and schedule permits and life permits, I'll have a new video up every day for animating, at least for right now. And then I'm trying to, at this point, make sure that I get a more polished, let's do some rotation, rotate Y on the hips here, do more polished animation and throw up kind of a short, as it were, once a month as well. And then when I have free time on top of that, which I'm writing 2 books as well right now, I'll do try to do more in-depth, like I talked about a couple days ago, doing something where it's like, this is how my approach to eye animation or my approach to a blink or something like that, where it'll be more shorter length videos, like I say, like a 10 or 15 minute video on kind of which, by the way, there's a great animation mentor, which is a wonderful, awesome animation school, put up a great little YouTube critique that had a good discussion on eyes and eyelids and mouth animation. And they talked about this really cool, oh, forgive me, world and internet, I forget who the guest mentor was that was doing the critique, but please check it out, Animation Mentor on YouTube. But they had the 11-second club winner from this week was doing this cool mouth animation, and he had the character looking from like right to left and going like this, and then in the mouth there was also an arc in the mouth, and they were talking about how they could have polished that up a little bit more and everything, but it was really cool. I don't know that I've done some stuff in the jaw, but not necessarily dipped the mouth itself, which is what they were doing because the character that they were animating didn't really have a strong jaw or a jaw that would have been noticeable, so they did that through the mouth itself with like an up and down on the mouth and a left right on the mouth, and I thought that was a very interesting way that I know I personally, I don't think I've approached something in that same way before, so that was interesting to watch. So far I'm liking that alright. Let's do a little bit of sway in the hips so that it's over the planted foot there, so the weight's distributed better. Always want to get a sense of life and weight to your characters to help sell that, even if they're really cartoony characters and everything, you want to sell the possibility or the illusion that those characters do exist. And now, again, like if you're doing a guy in outer space, you're not going to worry too much about the weight. You're going to want to think the opposite, that he's not, tethered down by anything. But you want to keep it consistent to the world that you're creating. And so those things, you get as the viewer or the audience of it, gets the idea that that could be a real reality. Man, phone is just blowing up today. Okay, and now let's go ahead and do a little bit of rotate Z to also kind of sell the weight as the foot lifts up. So this way, and we might scale that back a little bit as well. And we'll zero it out again. Ooh, there's a belly jiggle. Cool, that'll be fun to use. As you progress in your animation as well, which, like I said, it's a total learning process. I'm learning stuff all the time. I'm not saying I'm there and I'm the best at all. I just want to share what I know with you guys. But you'll find that once you understand the foundations better, extra controllers or extra things that you can manipulate, just add that little bit of extra spice or flavor or something to your animation, and you find them rather, instead of daunting of like, oh, how am I going to approach that or anything, you can think, oh, what's the best way that I could sprinkle that in to add more character. And I find that that's, I know when I was first learning, it's like, okay, well, I just want to make sure that like this looks like it's moving. And then, okay, well, now I want to make it sure like it's moving in a way that seems realistic. And then, well, what can I do to make it seem more realistic or have more character and everything to it? And that's something that I'm sure all of you are super professional animators and already know way more than I do about animation. But as you're learning, I think it's fun to see yourself grow and experience things and think about things in a different way than you might have previously, where before it might have been seemed as a challenge, or I just want to avoid that and just go straight to kind of like a vanilla style for this, where you could then get into, well, what's the best way to pepper in that stuff. And again, especially with something like, let's say we were going to do that belly jiggle that we mentioned, little goes a long way too. You don't want to do too much. Unless the whole point of your shot is like, let's do a close-up on a belly jiggle, then you really want to do a belly jiggle. But let's do a little bit of rotate Z. See, that's not going to work. Got to figure out which way we want to do this. Yeah, we're just going to have to do a little bit offset there. Oh, but we're going to want to move that because we have some 8s. I usually do kind of a base 6 system for the locks, so occasionally I'm off a little bit. Just want to do this so there's like a little bit of squash and stretch. And not the root, the middle spine, or lower spine, whatever it is. And we're just kind of offsetting those by doing the upper one. But I think that was a good way to approach that. Wasn't sure if I was going to use them together, but I think to have them kind of oppose each other is the better way to do it. Yeah, we might need to tone that down a little bit more, but we'll see. This might be a little much for a rotate Y, so we'll see. Let's do a little bit of rotate Y on this upper back. And we can maybe have that going on the other way. We'll tone it down a little bit more too. Let's try doing the opposite here. Okay, go ahead and save our file here, and let's start doing a little bit with the arms then. Careful, it's not deforming too much here. Yeah, we'll set it there, set it there. shorten the distance that it's going to travel because that's hitting too hard. Let's see. And let's lower that movement down a little bit. Rotate Y, up, back, up, back. Let's see. Not exactly right, but starting to get there. Let's try flipping it so it goes down. Let's see if that's better. No, that's not right. So let's delay everything a frame. Or maybe two. Let's see. Let's shorten that down even more. shorten this down to like 17. Just really minimize that a lot more. Okay, let's try and see if we can get it on this and see if we're just missing that from the other side. Let's forget about movement on those arms. So let's keep that there and delete it. So let's just watch that. One, two. I guess we could just leave them up for the whole time. Instead of have them do these big swings, maybe we don't have enough time and space for all that. Okay, let's look here. Take away that 16 and put it up there. So I'll delete that. And put everything. We were just doing too much movement on the arms. So let's see. Okay. And let's go ahead and just delete everything. Just reapproach it in a different way. To be about 2 frames sooner. Let's go. So this one should end on 13, and this one should already be going. This one ends at 45, so this one should have already been going. And we'll overshoot there a little bit. Let's see. Might be a little high. Let's go ahead and what's that? It's 17. It's got to straighten that finger out. 0, 0, 0. And key selected, and we'll move it forward. I'm doing a lot of thinking today about how to approach this one, so I've got to work on more chatty while I'm doing this, so sorry about that, folks. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is do a little bit of this move, just an elbow, just a little bit, just to keep it alive. And then where does this one start? On 29. Okay. That's about right. Now let's go ahead and got a little bit of movement there. Maybe we'll push it forward one frame. Let's see, just so there's a little bit of maybe one more frame, because I don't want it to feel like that's locked, that elbow's locked. And maybe we'll exaggerate it just a little bit. Just a little bit, not too much. There you go, now there's some movement in that elbow. And let's get into this one here. I think it starts at 13, so we'll go down and let's move it forward. What do we say? 2 frames? 1, 2. And there we go, I got a little bit of that movement in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1. And maybe do a little bit of rotate back and forth on there, just so there's some keep alive on that arm as well. Just so there's a little bit of sway kind of to that arm. Maybe not as much, probably tone it down a little bit, but just something so that the arm doesn't feel locked off. Maybe we can open it up a little bit more. Let's see. A little bit of tweaks here and there. And then let's go ahead and do a little bit of rotate Y on this one as well. Okay, that's working okay. So let's go to save our file. Finally got that stuff kind of working. sway out there, pull back there, sway out there, just a little bit of sway throughout that hand. Let's go ahead and delay all that one frame. And let's take the pinky spread and we'll delay that one more frame. Okay, just so we get a little bit of sway in those fingers. Okay, now let's see if we can do a little bit there with thumb spread. Yeah. No, thumb bend. Yeah. 3, and 7, and 11, and 15, just so it's not hitting at the same time. Let's see how we do there. Okay. Yeah, that works pretty well. Down, back. Actually, let's have it back, down, back, down, back, and down. Just so we get a little bit of kind of overlap and offsetting on those thumbs a little bit more. Okay, go ahead and save that. Let's see if we can get a little bit of belly jiggle that we were looking at. No? Bummer. Thought that would be a little bit better of a controller, but that's okay. So I'm really cranking those volumes and nothing's happening, so we're just going to go ahead and delete that then. And now let's get into some of the head here. Let's rotate it this way, this way. That's 12 frames. This way, this way, and back to 0 again. just so there's a little bit of, not that the head's hitting at exactly the same time in exactly the same way as the... And then let's do a little bit of rotate Z, 8, and then 24. And rotate Y, I think 16, that should be on 20. And this should be on 36. So we're on a base 8 system on a base 6, and that should be back at 40 again. And then let's go ahead and delay all the head stuff by 2 frames. Let's see. There, no, it doesn't feel like the head's hitting at exactly the same time. Let's see if we can't get a bigger smile here. We don't want to deal with that. We want to do the other way around. There we go. Maybe we can open that jaw a little bit more. No. It's a sink, I think. Oh, yeah. Open the eyes a little bit more. The jaw could go, or the sink could go up a little bit. Go down a little bit. Go back to there. And kind of hold that last one for a little bit more. Let's see. And let's see, we'll get one blink right here. We'll hold that out till about there. Let's see. Way too long to get those eyelids back up, so let's get it there. Let's hold the blink down for 2 frames. Okay, and blink's still taking too long, so let's cut it out by 1 frame and see if that's good enough. It's hard to do without like really a neck control right here. works okay, but I think we'll have it maybe do a little bounce or something there. Okay, now if we really made that really tiny little bit of head tips, then maybe that would work. Right now it feels like it's way too much. So let's scale it all back down here. Okay, let's go and watch that now. There we go. Keeps a little bit more life in there. Wish I could give him more of like even more of a smile. So let's see. There we go. Because he's goofy. He's got to have a big old teethy grin, right? So this smile keeps getting bigger as he goes. There's a little bit of jaw sway. Maybe we could do that then. 8, 20, and then no, 8 and then 24, and then 40, and back to 0 again. So we can see if we can get a little bit of sway in that jaw. It's kind of wrong how we have it set up, but just to give us a little more flexibility in that head. Let's delay it like 3 frames or so. See, that's not like an up and down. I was hoping there would be like a rotate that we could do for that jaw. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there is. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this a couple times. Oh, I want to do the feet. I don't think we did much with the feet yet. Let's see. Nope. Nope. What if we did that? So the feet go up and the toe swivels down. So we just kind of. Maybe a little less. I think a little bit of that could work. Let's see. I was hoping there would be like a toe controller with the knee, right? Yeah. Ball roll. It's that way. There's no ball 4. Guess we could do that. No, that doesn't work. Heel 4. Guess that's kind of our drag. It's not really a. And then what I wanted to try is if we could move everything so the feet land one frame quicker. Maybe they could hold for one frame longer as well. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll work. And some heel 4. I wonder what the 4 is short for. If you know in the comments, let me know. Add a little texture to that bounce, so there's a couple that go a little bit higher. And I wanted to delay the pinky spread frame. So that the fingers weren't all hitting at the same time. Let's go and watch that now. Just something funky about that first step, but I could fix that up a little bit better. Unfortunately, that belly jiggle didn't pan out as well as I'd hoped, but that's okay. Hey, I think that's working all right. Nice little. yeah, I think that's pretty fun. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought, if there were things that you would have approached different. If you try out this rig and you do another video with it, definitely share it back so you can talk about it and you know, see your progress and see what you're working on. But yeah, any sort of ideas, comments, critiques, suggestions for other videos, or anything you want to throw down below, definitely do it. Thanks again for all of the likes and subscribing to the channel. You guys are awesome. Always appreciate it. I hope that you guys enjoyed another animation time video, and let's just go ahead and take a brief look at what we started out with today. And drawing/acting is a lifetime adventure. There's no formula for becoming a proficient artist. It's just a lifetime of search and discovery. Teachers can only hint at some direction. The artist has to latch on to some personal method of finding and applying the facts for himself. My highest wish is that all of you will continue to develop your own means of expressing yourselves as performers. Trying to reach a goal is not so much narrowing down to a fine point as it is opening up to a wider range of realization. You concentrate your efforts only by broadening your knowledge and understanding and skill. So with that being said, I hope you guys take that and apply that to your work today, whatever creative field you're in. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you tomorrow for some more animation.